Here they are, my next guests, the creators, the founders, the co-hosts of Bussin' with the Boys. Will Compton, Taylor Lewan, what were you trying to say to me during break that I couldn't hear, but my producers could?
It was a big step in Will Compton's growth. Production goes, you go to break, and Will goes, this is where they can't hear us, right? Like
because I was up close to the camera, and I was like, so they can't hear us.
I hate that. I hate that. I feel like we have like a tradition.
Yeah.
Well, it was a tradition. It was a bad one for myself, where the boys got to laugh. I mean, you didn't even know what I was saying, so you can't even hear what I'm trying to ask.
It's great to see.
Answer your question about coaches and wearing sleeves. He's like,
I want to talk about this. So I'm babysitting my nephews, 9 and 13. The 9-year-old's fine. You guys, what do I need to know about the psychology of a 13-year-old just being allergic to wearing a coat? Like it's snowing, it's freezing, it's morning. I'm like, where's your winter stuff? He looked at me as if I was telling him to like explain Plato versus Aristotle to me. Like he was bewildered. He wouldn't do it. And then he like got real schmoopy about it. What is this?
I will defer to Will Compton. I grew up in Cave Creek, Arizona. It was never a coat. You never needed a coat. Will?
You never wore a coat?
You want to be as comfortable as you possibly can. Like too many layers that kind of, stiffen up the shoulders a little bit. You don't want to have to deal with the process of putting everything on. The only thing going on in a 13-year-old boy's mind, it's sports and girls. So however quickly you can do all of those things or think about those things, you don't think about what clothes you want to wear, everything else. That's when that's when everybody else kind of like, hey, we got you this for Christmas. Here's what you're going to wear today. Other than that, we don't even think about wearing clothes. We don't want too many clothes on because we want to be able to run around, sprint, and play sports as much as we can.
Got to be able to operate.
Got to be able to. So it's an operation of function. I should just let it go. Now I'm being like the bratty aunt who's like, put your mittens on. Now I understand. I'm just going to let him get strep throat.
Auntie K wants us to wear all these clothes. Like I'm going to be fine out here.
Got it. Okay.
The upside it's really upside. It's downside to you guys, but the upside for us is you get sick, then you get to miss school.
And then I get sick and I have to go back to like LA and like do work. Like none of this makes sense to me. Boys are silly. Okay. Let's talk about last night, guys. Bussin' with the Boys, watching this game. It's CD, it's Pickens. Shoddy says, no, we're going to bench you. They missed some things. The duo then goes off for 210 and 2 touchdowns. They're laughing. The look of it's great. They're hugging on the sideline to their coach. There is this narrative that Pickens like ran his course, like wasn't a fit. He's a handful, whatever you want to say. He's clearly thriving in Dallas. Why is this working so well? Well,
I think oh, go ahead, Will.
Oops.
I was going to say, I think Pickens is balling. He's also in a contract year. He's extremely motivated. I think Dallas has been a great fit for him. Dak can throw the football all around the yard. And this Dallas Cowboys team, they have a little life now after last night. It's a long shot to make the playoffs. Defensively, they looked a lot better. I think, when you rave about how the Cowboys performed last night, the first thought is it was against the Raiders. So let's see if they can do it again against the Philadelphia Eagles, which that was like a 3-point game the first time they played in week 1. But yeah, Pickens has been balling out. I think he's really stepped up. He stepped up when CeeDee Lamb was out. When CD came back, it was like, hey, the number 1 target's back. I wonder how George Pickens is going to respond. And he's clearly responded the way you want him to. He was the leading guy last night, and he's going to be tough to cover if you're a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah, early in the season, there was a lot of conversations revolved around his effort when he doesn't get the ball. It was very similar to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think a big change to the guard was when CeeDee Lamb did go out for a little bit. George Pickens he took advantage of being the true number 1 receiver in the situation. And I'm sure he had some guys sit him down and be like, bro, you're in a contract year. You get paid $30+ million a year if you just straighten up and do things the way everybody wants you to do them for 1 year. So he's done that. He looks incredible. He's got this unique ability. He doesn't seem like the fastest or the most elusive person in the world, but when he has the ball in his hand, it seems like no one can tackle him.
Taylor, quickly, let's start with you, and then I want Will too. What is the most trouble you've ever gotten into with a coach?
High school, we were playing Saguaro. So the biggest rivalry in Arizona is Saguaro versus Chaparral. I transferred schools there. We lost 21-0. We would have had a touchdown if it wasn't for a holding call by number 77. Later in the week, we were going to the next week. The coach said after the game, hey, we're done talking about this game. We're not going to bring it up anymore. After that week, the coach brings us up. He starts yelling and talking about the Saguaro game. And I piped up, I thought we weren't talking about this anymore. I thought we were done in front of the whole team. kicks me out of practice, sat me down for the first quarter of the game. Did I cry by myself? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That was probably the most trouble I got into with a coach.
For myself, I would say Nebraska, we were at Iowa State. It was a one-score game, and I think I was a freshman or a sophomore.
Always comes back to Nebraska.
Always comes back.
Always.
And we had the field goal block unit out, and our coordinator called field goal safe. And it was a one-score game, and I kind of looked at all the guys and said, hey, boys, fuck it. We're going to go block this thing. Because he wanted to play safe in case they were to fake it. Like this was a spot where he studied, and this could be a potential fake. But I'm like, we got to go block this kick. So we line up, and we go and try to block the kick. It ends up becoming a fake. And we're in the oh shit mentality.
Oh.
The guy, he scrambles out, throws the ball, misses him by an inch, misses the throw by an inch. We fortunately still win the game, but that was probably the most, just going rogue and going to A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and just saying, F it on fourth down. We're going to go after this thing.
Was that Eckler?
No, that was John Papuchis.
Yeah, of course it was Papuchis.
That happened. Here you two are successful as ever. Sometimes you need to get in trouble with your coaches. That clearly worked for them last night. Guys, I can't decide what I'm waffling on the Cowboys, and my lukewarm take is future is bright. They're built clearly adding Quinnen's great. What do we want to say about them now, right? Because their defense was so good. A sack and a half from Quinnen, 28 rushing yards, guys, 28 from this new look post-trade deadline defense. They're clearly turning a corner in a hurry. What could we say about them? Could they make a playoff push, Will?
Why not? Yes, I'm going to say the Cowboys can make a playoff push. I think that they can make it interesting. Again, we talk about the stat line, the box score, how well the defense played. They do have a spark with Quinnen Williams being in there, Logan Wilson. I want to say they're getting other guys healthy and back on the field as well. But right now I fall back on it was against the Raiders. The Raiders have not played good football this year. But the spark can be alive with Dallas. Because again, you look at the Eagles. The Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFL. They're sitting there at 8-2 right now, and they have a wide Cowboys got a long way to go. But if you're breaking down the Eagles, their defense is really good, coming along with Jalen Carter, pick up with Phillips, but their offense still, it still looks average. It still has question marks out there. So if they're going to make it spicy, I think the Cowboys can make it spicy, especially with that offense.
Yeah, I love Will.
Really quick, plus 790. You're taking a look at the schedule here. They'd have to unseat the Niners or Lions, Taylor, if they're going to get in, or the Bears.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought the schedule up, because when you were asking the question, I thought this team is a pig with lipstick. It's not going to happen. They're not making the playoffs.
Where's the lipstick though? They're 4-5.
Their offense is the lipstick. Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP level. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, all those guys, they're running the ball extremely well right now. They had a good defensive game against the Raiders. Oh, but it's the Raiders. Now I will say they usually play much different away than they do at home. They look like their home stats when they were playing at the Raiders last night. However, I've fallen into the Cowboys could really be something when they were running zone 96% of the time. Then all of a sudden Eberflus starts running a little man. They look a little spicy against the Commanders. I drank the Kool-Aid before Kip, and now I'm sitting here a new man and understanding I've been down this road before. This team is not making the playoffs. And as far as the future goes, you still have to lock up George Pickens after this. You brought in Quinnen Williams. You're $75 million over the cap. You're going to have to get extremely creative if you want to keep these key pieces while adding new pieces, because your defense is going to be abysmal the rest of the year.
You two having these takes is making my entire day. I don't know who I'm talking to. Will saying Taylor. Taylor, you're adamant about something. I don't know what is going on. What is going on?
I live my life in the gray. This one to me, I've done this.
Here's what happened to Taylor. He bought in hardcore to the Cowboys when they were going out to Denver.
Ego.
And I was trying to say, it's hey, the Denver defense is nice. They're probably going to fall here. And then the Cowboys, I want to say my hairline looking tough there. They go out and get beat by the Broncos. I want to say they lay an egg against the Cardinals. They go into the bye week, but coming out of it, my man is wounded. He's wounded because he drank the Kool-Aid a little too much.
I get that.
And
I totally get that.
But now's the right time to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, let's go play the Eagles, then we'll play the Chiefs, then we'll play the Lions. No shot. No shot. It's not happening. No disrespect.
Taylor's going rogue. Yeah, Taylor's going rogue and making takes, and Will at least is being consistent. You've brought up Nebraska and Denver. already, which I love. The victory laps on Denver that you're taking are very well deserved. How do you feel? Is there any question? You know, like I feel like Bo's not getting enough love in all of this.
Bo Nix in his first 2 seasons, most fourth quarter comeback wins of any QB in the history of the NFL. I understand, and the question marks with Bo Nix are justified at times. But the way this Broncos team is playing, they hear the noise in the locker room. You look at what's his name? Bowles?
Garrett Bowles, the left tackle.
Garrett Bowles, the left tackle. He's like, what are they going to say now? They're very motivated, sitting at the top of the AFC with the Colts and the Patriots. This defense is elite. They got after their ass on Sunday. And again, they killed the Chiefs' division hopes right then and there. Chiefs aren't playing for the division anymore. They're just going to try and play for a wild card spot. But the way the Broncos are playing, I've been talking about it for a couple of years now, since Sean Payton and Bo Nix got together. I had them as my dark horse last year. I haven't won in the division this year. And they are proving me right, because the way this defense is playing and keeping their offensive games, if they can mitigate some of these penalties offensively and they can just get a rhythm going with Bo Nix, this is as good as quarterback as anybody in the fourth quarter.
Taylor? I feel like we don't talk about, Taylor, I feel like we don't talk about where Bo exists among quarterbacks, you know?
It's
so he gets
unique.
his first head-to-head win over Mahomes. That's big. He did struggle the last 2 weeks, though. But this was like a demand my respect from the rest of you watching moment. How does this performance in a win like this reshape his perception? Like, where do we put him in the quarterback conversation?
I mean, I don't think we're talking about.
It's got to be top 5, yeah.
I don't think we're definitely not in the
top five.
No, he's trolling. Okay.
Oh, I was like, let's go, Will.
Here's the interesting thing about Bo Nix is he has such a unique way of starting games. His feet seem very happy feet. He seems very rushed in his progressions. And then as the game goes on more and more, he settles into everything. He feels more comfortable. And that's where you see a lot of these second half, fourth quarter comebacks. Now, the thing that's going to set him apart, the next step for Bo Nix, as well as he's done statistically, like Will just brought up, is how can you start the way you finish in a lot of these games? If he can have the first and second quarter the way he does the third and fourth quarter, now we're talking about a quarterback that commands an offense, that can has great place with the ball, has enough athletic ability to have quarterback called runs for him, and a defense that is untouched by any other defense in the NFL. They keep progressing the way they are. And everyone knows Sean Payton, as the season progresses, September is usually his worst year statistically. October gets better, November gets better, and they start singing in December. Mm-hmm. So I expect them to win this division. It's going to be a unique fight to see where the Chiefs, if they make the playoffs at all, but they've got to show consistency. The Chiefs have been 0-5 in one-score games. Last year, they were 11-0. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they can kind of turn that juju around a little bit. But this, to me, is the Broncos division at this point.
Describing Bo as unique to start games is very funny. I will think of it that way. He's happy. It does not get in a rhythm. I don't know if we need more designed runs. I don't know what's going on, but great way to describe it. Let's talk about the rest of the AFC and these Chiefs. Let's pull up the AFC picture, and we'll start with you, Taylor, and then Will. We're talking about the Chiefs. Can they make it, right? All these 5 teams you're seeing, they're vying for these last 2 spots. Taylor, you and then Will, one team that you think will make it.
Well, I mean, I can give you 2 right now. I mean, in the hunt, you're looking at the Chiefs. The Chiefs and the Ravens. The Ravens' schedule, the back end of their schedule is much easier. They understand after a 1-5 start that they are in a win or go home type of situation since the middle of October. I see them winning the division, even though the Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting there at 6-4 right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Los Angeles Chargers, to me, are very similar in the ways that they're extremely inconsistent. You know, Jacksonville had a great game last week against the Chargers. Chargers lay an absolute egg, and they tend to do that flip-flop technique as their schedule goes on. If the Kansas City Chiefs can take advantage and win some of these games in the back end, I can see both those teams falling out and the Ravens and Chiefs falling in.
Yeah, for the wild card here, if there's 2 teams that I believe are going to make it, it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens and the Jacksonville Jaguars. You can throw the Chargers out. They pissed me off the way they just laid an egg against the Jaguars. Jaguars are inconsistent. They have some big wins on the season. If they can just create some of that consistency, like they can be a tough football team. Sneaky, great team in the AFC right now is the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I'm going to go ahead and say the Chargers are out of it, and the Chiefs, we saw it over the weekend, they're definitely out of it.
And they're out of it why are you
laughing? They're out of it, Kate. They're not making the playoffs.
Why are you laughing?
Because this is Will Compton. Like literally, if Will would have just said, "Hey, they have a chance to make the playoffs," that's probably the one thing that turns like the butterfly effect and doesn't allow them to make the playoffs. However, every year Will's like, "The Chiefs are dead. The Chiefs are dead.
I know.
They're done.
I've heard this, but
and every year they prove them wrong.
Well, last year we won the Super Bowl with Philly.
The
me and the Eagles.
me
and the
played for the third of the league.
Right
one of them wasn't the Eagles.
But Will, why are you right this year? Because it just feels and it just looks like they don't have juice. That's what, and I don't know the answer. Like why, if you were to in one sentence, like the Chiefs will not make it because
water is infiltrating their ship. Taylor said it. They're 0-5 in one-score games, something that they were hanging their hat on last year. They've been the dominant force in the NFL. Like it feels like the last decade. But again, water is seeping in. The ship is sinking, and it's going to be fully sunk this year because they're going to go out and lose to Indianapolis. They're going to have a lot of games at home, and then they're going to lose in front of their home crowd and really knock them out of the playoffs. But I would just say it's a sinking ship, and water's continuing to flood in those hallways.
Okay, you not remember
the Titanic is going down.
What, Taylor?
Okay, you remember when I did your show a couple of years ago, and the Chiefs are very similar in this. Like they just like they're kind of winning, we're kind of not. Like we're like, hey, they're not really doing it. They're limping into the playoffs, and what they end up doing, they end up going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. That is a clear path that can still happen for them.
It does not feel that way. It does not feel like they are going to finally get up and like they're just kind of playing with their food. And like, it doesn't feel that way. And the Broncos are really good and they're 4 games. Like they won the division that year that they did that. They're not doing that this year. Like like, I don't know. I don't know if this is the year for them. I do not know. And that wouldn't be an end to the dynasty. I think that's more what I'm thinking because people are like, it's over for them. But like, you know, Brady had like a bad year in there between those Super Bowls. So it's fine. But like, I don't know. I don't know that this is the year. And it's not from anything personnel wise. It's worse. It's like they can't get up for the game or something. They can't, knowing they're going to be 4 back of the Broncos. That's what you look like. Like Pat with those throws at the end. Like, I don't like, it just doesn't feel, I don't know. It feels weird this year. It feels weird. Weirder than usual.
You're seeing the board clearly. You're seeing the board clearly, Kay. FanDuel's got them favored against the Colts this week.
Is that true?
It's true.
Okay, love. Okay, I want to ask you guys about a couple other stories here. I'm going to get to college. We've got Franklin news. I know I have to get to that hot topic this morning. But the big news in the NFL is this Jamar Chase thing. He gets suspended a game. He spits on Jalen Ramsey. Second time we've seen a spit situation between players this season. And I'll ask you this, as my brothers. Taylor, do players spit on each other much more often than I think?
Great person to ask. She has no clue.
Probably.
I do. TJ Watt, I have a clue.
Oh,
I think this is a very rare thing. There's no place for it in football. Okay,
How rare?
Off the top of my head, this is the 3rd incident I've seen since 2016.
Like, what was it? Did it happen more than just yours? Like in your mind, like, do you think it happens? Or you've only seen 3 instances since, like, you know.
No, that actually is a good question because I saw a defensive tackle in the Jets. He spit on a guy when we were playing one year, but it's not that's not a regular thing. This is not something that should happen. It's not something that casually happens. Like you see the way Jalen reacted, like. Yes. Jalen probably had the correct reaction to that thing. He says in the post-game press conference, like, once you spit on me, like, I'm not thinking about football anymore. And it's like, respectfully, at the end of the day, like, that's how it should be handled. Like, there's a level that you can get to. Like, I've been told by a guy before, like, hey, I'm going to shoot you after the game. That's less disrespectful than getting spit on. Like the shooting part to me is okay. Like, you can say that if you want.
You can tell me you'll kill me after the game.
Yeah, you can tell me you're going to kill me.
Meet me by the buses.
Yeah, I mean, I never did.
Yeah. So that said, like if we're trying to like eliminate this, as I'm sure like the rules committee, like when they're at the Breakers in Palm Beach, this is going to come up. Should you get a punch in on someone? Like should that be the rule? If the Zapruder film shows a spit, like Jalen should get a lick in on Jamar. Like maybe everybody holds him, or you just like what should be the rule to eradicate this? I like the punch thing.
Yeah, maybe the team would have to, the Steelers get to hold Jamar Chase's arms behind his back. And then Jalen gets
Like a
to swing
power
it.
slap?
Yeah, they just call a timeout. Like, this is what maybe we start
Bring him to the 50-yard
reviewing.
line.
You see a reaction like that. I know when I saw it happen live and I saw the clip, I'm just thinking, what is Jalen doing? Like, what is bonehead? Yeah. Well, I didn't know that a spit happened. I'm just thinking, what in the hell? Like, why is he reacting like this? Because Jamar just continues to keep his hands on the side. So I'm thinking tip of the cap to Jamar for saying whatever he said to Jalen to get that reaction out of him. But once you see the tape and you see the loogie, I mean, this is a cat who was drinking Gatorade, and you kind of get that thickness going in the top of your throat.
Going.
Yeah, and just spits on this man. So I'm a huge fan that they suspended him. I think you even need to look at a 2-game suspension, just because it's like, we don't even want – that's such a boneheaded move, spitting on guys. It's the stupidest thing. It's the most disrespectful thing. And the fact that guys are doing it, and we've seen it this year happen a couple times, you want that stuff out of the game. And I think you set an example by this game suspension, because what a way to hurt the team. Your best player is now out because you chose to spit on a guy during the game.
Absolutely.
It's really well said. I think Dak should get a free punch on Jalen. And I think TJ, we should line this up, Will. I think between you and I, we could probably make this.
There's a statute of limitations.
Timeout.
I don't know if there is.
Didn't Dak spit toward Jalen and on the ground?
Yeah, that's a wash.
It was on the ground. It was on the ground.
I don't remember.
But I want to say Dak spit toward Jalen, like on the ground, kind of like nodding at him.
Yeah.
Then Jalen walked up and then, spit in his face. Can't have that in the game.
Right.
So there was some gray area.
Now, if we're talking about things that happened in 2016, K, like, there is a statute of limitations here. Like, we're implementing.
I don't know.
Now.
I think TJ should get a free punch on you, and I think that I think Jeremy. I think Jeremy, Will, JP, Hovey, I'll come down again, and we'll hold you. And TJ should get a little free punch to like make it right. What do you think? Then you guys can really stand as this anti-spit precedent. This is what could happen. Crime doesn't pay.
Yeah. I've openly said this, and I'll say it again. Like, if TJ Watt ever wants to spit in my face, I will take it, and I will do nothing about it. I'm talking about we and loogie, the whole thing. One of those. Like, it's 2016 Taylor is a way different person than 2025 Taylor. Like, I look at that now, and I'm like, whoa, what were we doing? That being said, like, it happened, and he deserves to get something on me for sure.
I love that. We're going to take a TV break. Still very much live on YouTube. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hanging out. Go subscribe to Bussin' with the Boys while you're at it. Go check out the podcast we did together last week. I hope it did okay, guys. I think it did well.
I did great. A couple news articles out there.
Yeah.
Carrie Adams in a relationship.
Really fun. Really fun.
Good fun.
Can you imagine dating me and waking up to that fun headline? Wouldn't that be fun, Will? Really fun for you?
That's why I was trying to slow it down. You did say you can ask me questions.
You did say.
I did, but then why did they take that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it looked like I put out a fucking advertisement. Like, come shoot your shot. I want to hear from your moms. I want to hear from your brothers. Hey, firemen from all across this great country. If you're a CEO that has a wife, why don't you also get in my DMs and ask me out? Like, this is what happened from this. And Will, you and I knew it was happening while it was happening. It was National Breakup with K-Day.
How has ABC reached out yet for a season on The Bachelorette or something?
Did someone tell you that? Did Suze tell you that?
Happen?
I'm not getting into this. Anyway,
back up to this break.
It looks like I'm the most desperate, thirsty person, and all I said was, "I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at." But I could see myself.
That you don't seem like that at all. I at least have when I'm sitting on the bus.
That headline like that.
At all. Wow. That being said, you should definitely do The Bachelorette. That would be awesome.
No, Will owes me. You think I'm gonna go? You think I'm gonna go do that hard work? Will has to find me a husband. I left the boy garage, saying I know what's gonna happen now, and I'm walking to the car, and Will's like, "Yeah, but you never talk about it, so it's fun to kind of." And I go, "Watch what's gonna happen." And now you owe me a husband. I want him delivered under my tree by the 25th. Okay. I want batteries included. I want just like the whole husband situation happening. Okay. I want to ask you guys quickly. I think we're still in break, but that's okay. I wanted to ask you about college because this Virginia Tech, James Franklin, what do I need to know? I know he had trouble beating like the better teams, top tier opponents. Since there's more parity in the ACC, as I've learned today, do you guys think he's in a better position to like buck that narrative? Will?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Again, ACC kind of I'm truly not trying to shit on a lesser conference right now. I think James Franklin's going to bring back the Virginia Tech logo that we all remember in the early 2000s. And two, sneaky move. He's staying in like that northeastern part in Northern Virginia where all the recruits he had and was talking to are guys on the team currently with Penn State. He can kind of snipe those and really get back at his old ball club.
Taylor?
Don't you think?
I think most of them are going to go to Michigan. But I do think, yeah, it's a good move. And Will said the ACC, like James Franklin's biggest knock on him was his record against top 10 teams and top 25 teams. Good news is the ACC didn't have a whole lot of those. He's going to be very successful. He'll be competing for ACC championship very quickly. And I do love that he's got a lot of his recruits and guys already in that kind of area that he can kind of snipe and take care of them. We'll take a couple of receivers, take a couple of defensive linemen. He can have the rest.
Okay, I think we're back from break. Can we just do the game and let them go? Let them bounce? All right, let's lay out. 5, 4, 3, 2, back on TV.
Yes!
They're going to want to sponsor this segment because they sponsor everything. But here they are, Bussin' with the boys. And welcome to the Bussin' Bar. This is Bussin' on Tap. We're going to show you some viral moments. Maybe you've seen them. Maybe you haven't. I haven't seen any of these. And we're going to say whether this was a keg-worthy moment if you're super into it. Is it pint-worthy if you're not kind of into it, lukewarm, a 6, let's say, or cut off if you're out of this. First up, guys, check out this. This is a guy at a Montana State game riding in a motorized trash can. Taylor, if this guy rolls up to the Bussin' Bar, is he keg-worthy, pint-worthy, or is he cut off?
This guy's keg-worthy, Kay. Like, you look at the innovation, nothing like a redneck getting after it. Taking something as simple as a trash can and turning it into a fun little scooter. I'm all about this. I'm in the keg category for this one.
Yeah, Tim riding in it. We'll just say his name's Tim. Tim riding in style. This is where you go upside down, do a little keg chug, whatever the theatrics coming in. A keg stand. There we go. Putting the wheels on a trash can. This is what the boys are chugging to right here.
Bussin' with the boys at the Bussin' Bar here. Jameis shaking off the haters in his first start in New York. Will keg, pint, or cut him off?
Oh, it's keg. That's keg. I love me some Jameis. The boy going out there slinging it around like the quotes we're going to have from this man for the rest of the year. I'm always chugging a beer to Jameis Winston.
The world is a better place when Jameis Winston is starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, this is exactly what we want. Going back to eating the W's and preaching. He's a friend of the show. And he's just incredible, man. This is keg-worthy for sure.
Rams punter Ethan Evans. Beautiful punt, gentlemen. Less than 2 minutes left in the game. Taylor, let's start with you. How are you tapping in on this punt?
Yeah, this is a pint to me. Yeah, like I respect this. This is awesome. Nothing really gets me going though from a special team standpoint, and I know it's my
oh wow,
it's the life I was able to live of being an offensive lineman and playing hardly any special teams at all. I need to respect it more. However, pickles on a sandwich. Let's give it a pint.
See, like I agree with you on the pint. I don't see it as a disrespectful thing. I think when you see that happen, your eyes kind of go up. You're like, buddy. It's more of a golf clap and a cheers and a little sip of the pint.
You're not doing a cake stand over that.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more quickly. James Madison Jr., linebacker, Gannon Weathersby. What a name. Gannon Weathersby is his name. He's taking eye black to a whole new level. Will, what is this face paint worthy of at the bar? That's wow.
I mean, that's more fear than anything else. I would chug to that just so he doesn't get his paws on me. But I love that face paint. It'd be, a B word, a bleep explicit to get off your face after the game. But I love how he's taking this face paint to a new level.
This guy better have double-digit sacks every single year, multiple TFLs. He is an okay player. Honestly, I don't know this guy's stats. I'm going to give it a cutoff. This is a cutoff. And now if this was like a Von Miller kind of individual, that's when I'd be like, hey, you can do whatever you want, buddy.
Yeah, but even if he's got an average stat line, you got to respect the teammate.
No, I'm out on
that. Like he's willing to die for the team.
Terrell Suggs, when he had like that crazy gladiator type of face mask.
Yeah.
It's Terrell Suggs. It's like, oh, buddy, you wear whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff. But if it's a guy that's like holding a clipboard on the sidelines, hey, listen, brother, like you're just causing yourself.
You have to be Terrell Suggs. Last one for you. Winter is upon us. Dads are getting inventive. Will, keg-worthy, pint-worthy, or cut him off? What is this?
What is he doing right here? This man uses his
dog, and he's just.
He's looking to reel his kid in.
Oh yeah, on a sled.
with the
letting him
power
back.
drill. I don't know what this.
Well, that is incredible. This man uses his brain at 200%. I'm going to say you go in and have a beer. You go in and have a pint over this. You're not getting drunk over it. You're not doing a cake stand, but this creativity is 5D chess, and I would have a beer with this gentleman.
Yeah, I understand Will starting with the pint from like, hey, you're going to celebrate this, but casually, as dads do. This is keg worthy to me. This is something that you look at, and every time it snows in Nashville, what is the thing my kids want to do? They want to go find a place. They want to go sledding.
Aww.
There's nothing worse than having to pick them up and the sled and trudge yourself up the hill. This guy is operating at a whole new level. These kids are going to have way more fun because of it. Keg it.
Make sure they have coats on is all I would say. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to check out episodes of Bussin' with the Boys on YouTube. We also, of course, have the Boostin' with the Boys going on. Everybody, it's 30% PBT on any college football parlay on FanDuel Sportsbook this weekend. Thank you guys. See you soon.
Thank you, Kay.
Bye. See you soon.